because whoever's in control tells us what we hear. The stunt coordinator contract, ooh, TV stunt coordinators get a contract. Yeah, but not prime time coordinators. It costs the producers nothing to give us what they're giving us. Reality is, our whole world is dependent upon pension and health. Our pension and health is at like 87 or 89%. You have to be more than 82% to be federally protected. And we're strong for one reason, call the pension and health. Our residuals pay into that. Perhaps Tim Davidson stood up and said he's pro-residuals because he made 45 grand in residuals. That was spread out over years after Home Alone. So even though he only made 5 grand on that job, after years of those residuals, that paid into the pension $7,000 bucks. See, that's what makes us strong. Paul Knuckles retired 10, 15 years ago. What pays for him to be in Tennessee? You and me working and our residuals going into it. To make our pension and health strong independently, we would each have to make $350,000 a year for 20 years. We don't do that. Bottom line is this. We need to vote this thing down. We need to make this bigger every week. The middle of May, there's 2 contracts that the Screen Actors Guild is going to send out that you need to ratify. Don't get confused. One is for commercials, one is for television and theatrical. The commercial one is coming out like now. So when you get it, vote it up because, well, you vote however you feel, right? Vote however you feel. I can tell you 10 things that are wrong with it, and I'm not happy with it, but what's killing us right now personally is the TV theatrical thing. So vote how you feel. Reality, with the TV and theatrical contract, that ballot is going to come out the middle of May. All I'm saying is, vote it how you feel. Reality, it's real simple. You like residuals? You want residuals? Vote no. The deal, the way it's worded, from what we're getting, all right, this will be a little easier on your ear. Yeah. The way it's worded is, when we get our paperwork, is a little bit confusing, but if you read deeper, basically the producers want to pay us $28 for 6 months to run a television show, all they want. Whereas, you know, primetime TV network, big bucks. This is going to kill us, and it's being done because we don't have much to say with it. 53% of the national board voted to accept this last producer's deal, which is the same thing that they offered us 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 months ago. And 48% or 47% voted against it. 52% of the board that told us what to do, you'll get this in the mail, you'll go on our website, we're putting it together now, literally is made up of 18 members, 41 people that made up the 53%. 18 of those members have less than 5 days in the business. One of them, a national board member, basically the way SAG works, there's 120,000 members. Only 4%, 6% at the most, but 4% vote on any given election. So we, as the stunt community and the actors, if we each got 3 people, our families, our kids, and SAG cards to vote, we'd have, you know, there's 2,000 people on the services. This is simple math. For reality, the national board is made up of 71 people. 71 people tell the Screen Actors Guild what to do. LA does 75% of the motion picture and television work with residuals. New York does up to 25%. New York does 25%. I'm giving you a bunch of numbers. All these facts will be on the internet. Don't get confused, but the bottom line is, of the 52%, you can get these bases, I'll give you their credits, literally, not half of them have never qualified for their health insurance once. Most of them have no pension. I see 6 or 7 out of the 41 that have a pension and health insurance. And they're saying to SAG what to do with us.
In other words, they don't sign our contracts. Ever work on them.
They don't sign our contracts. The problem with the after SAG conflict, you back me up, I'm pension and SAG and AFTRA. You got something right after SAG, AFTRA accepted the producer's contract, and you got something in the mail, as did all the radio DJs, and it said, radio DJs, we know you don't work the motion picture and television contract. Please vote to accept this deal. It will help your pension. Would we ever think about joining this union? And I'm pensioned in both. I got 12 years. Everybody knows Married with Children after show. Reality, we have to wake up. We are in control. Every time someone walks around and says they, SAG, they, after, they is us. Our problem is the people that have the hours, the hundreds of hours, to spend at SAG during this negotiating every week for a year, don't have your thoughts in mind. They're just going with whatever they think. Reality, we need to make this caucus bigger, or this rally bigger. We're going to have information coming constantly. The biggest thing for you to do is understand we need to convince everybody to tell the producers to go back to the table. The one thing that kills me is that the people that are pro this contract say, well, there's nothing else for us to do. Well, the people that are pro this contract are the 53 or 52% from New York, basically. Brain damage. Now I lost my train of thought. They said that there was nothing else we could do. Actually, they, that 52%, removed our ability to give our board the strike authorization. There was something they could do. There is something they could do. They're not letting us do it.
Tell everybody, tell one person next week, bring one more, tell one more
If
person.
everybody here insists, believe me, it affects everybody. I'm calling Paul Knuckles in Tennessee. I'm calling every retired stuntman in this business. They don't get to vote necessarily from what I heard because they're not paying dues, but their pension is affected. If they don't get, if we don't get residuals when they work, in 3 years from now their pension is going to suffer, and by the time we get it, there won't be one. All right?
Frank, what's in it for the 53% of the board that voted this thing?
Well, they basically want to get back to work. Most of the, like I say, 25. Most of the work that's done in New York is game shows, talk shows, non-residual based stuff. So they want to get back to work. And soap operas. That's why, look at AFTER. What is it made up of? Originally it was soap operas and a few sitcoms. Mainly it was formed by radio DJs, American Federation of Radio and Television Artists. Their charter confuses me. How can they be doing television shows without a live audience? That's what their charter said in 1950. I know it didn't say videotape because there was no videotape in 1950. Bottom line is we have to get involved. We're going to make a website. If you want to read, it's going to have a ton of facts and information. It's going to irritate you and madden you. Don't get mad at SAG. Get mad at me and everybody else that's a member of SAG as a stunt performer and actor that's not involved. Call everybody. We all know that residuals are the lifeblood of our days. I know I got one this week. It made me feel good, right? So we have to keep them, no matter what it takes. I'm going to introduce Scott Wilson. Oh, Scott. Scott's on the phone. I know there's a lot of confusion. I know there's a lot of thoughts going on. I can whine and dine you on a lot of things, but in reality, I don't want to burn you out. United for Strength stopped the strike authorization. United for Strength is now currently running the Screen Actors Guild with their 52%. Once again, the ballot for the theatrical and television contract for us to make sure everybody's aware by now. So we're going to every Thursday meet here. The reason we're meeting here is that we could park 10,000 cars in that thing. Everybody go by, make sure you get a drink, a soda, support the business here, get a validation, because when I stayed here for 3 hours, I was amazed at what the parking was. Anyway, two things. When we do walk, we got to walk on the sidewalk with the signs, and actually if they give us a hard time, you need to be moving because otherwise it's loitering. They're kind enough to let us speak on the stairs here for 10 minutes every week. At the end of when Scott talks, somebody can get him off the phone or get him over here. We'll get together and get a picture. But guys, we are in a you know what storm. Hold on.